Hey gun people, this is a pretty good little pursuit here. I wanted to point out a couple things on the police officer following and driving. I talk about apexing a turn. I talk about entering a turn low and then exiting high because you're accelerating in a straight line, and that prevents you from spinning out and losing, getting what's called oversteer or understeer. Oversteer is you oversteer the car and the rear end spins around. Understeer is you turn your wheels and your car keeps going straight. So when you go around a corner, instead of exiting low or entering low and exiting high in a straight line, you'll get oversteer and your rear end will fish out because you try to take the curve, you turn, and you start fishtailing. And if you're going too quick, then your car centrifugal force takes over and it spins it around. And this is actually what happens to the suspect, but the cop doesn't do it. But the cop is following him, and the reason he doesn't is because he's using basic driving skills, understanding stored energy, potential energy, weight shift of a car, entering a corner and turn slower, and then exiting fast. So you'll notice the cop gets a little far back after the turn, and then he makes up ground, but on the corners, he tends to get a little closer because he's making that apex turn. And he exits the turn very quick. So most of his speeds are around 30, 35. He gets to 60 a couple times. See how he entered really high here? He came out, he entered low, hit that apex, and now he shoots out high. See how suspect's more in the center lane, and now the cop is slowly drifting over? That's because he's apexing those turns. Picking up here at about 63. He's slowing. The suspect turns fast. He kind of slows and comes out really high. Watch him come way over here. Say he went all the way to the right there. He used that apex, and that way he prevented a little oversteer. So now he picks up speed. Suspect's gaining a little ground. Maybe he has a faster car on the straightaway. Suspect takes it. Cop's going to, again, take it wide. Suspect loses it. So I want to go back to a couple of these apexes here. Watch this cop. Enter low, exit high. Way to the right. That keeps your car more in a straight line. You're not shifting your car. You're not getting that leaning left and right. Watch this car in front of him as it turns, how it leans. That causes stored energy in the push down side and potential energy. See how that car leans to the right? The officer kind of came out really, really high and took off. Now your car will naturally do that if you let it. Most people don't. They try to take the turn too fast. Just like this guy did on a spin here, and you'll watch his rear end lose it. And there he goes. And again, I talk about contact patch, driving in the rain. These guys, when you hit puddles and you're chasing somebody, you got to be aware. I have to have a little distance before that wetness on my tire is going to dry off. That's going to cause me to have less rolling friction. It's going to loosen or lessen my contact patch. I did a little video driving in the rain the other day. I haven't made it public yet. Maybe I'll make it public after this one since they're connected. And I'll put a link to it in the description of this, where I was driving in the rain discussing contact patch. Okay, so the officer here, I'm not real impressed with his driving was okay. He gets out here and he's kind of fumbling around with his radio. He's looking around. He's got one hand on his gun, a one-handed grip. Look, when you've got a suspect that you really think he's a threat, you got both eyes on him, both hands on your gun, and you're tense and you're locked on that suspect. This guy's not really locked on the suspect. Watch him. He's going to look around. He's got a one-handed grip instead of a two-handed grip. Kind of reaches for the radio. Kind of doesn't. Got a little issues here.
There's a kid in the car. You running with the kid? Yeah, you are sorry.
Okay, you hear the tone in this officer's voice? This is what I'm talking about. Cops get jacked up when they're chasing people. It becomes personal. It becomes an affront to their badge, their authority. You know, and this guy's saying, "Oh, you had kids. I'm so offended." Yo, motherfucker, you were chasing him with a kid. You didn't terminate the pursuit because he had kids in the car. You kept chasing him with a kid in the car, and somehow now it offends you that he ran with a kid in the car. I'm not saying the guy was right for running, and he is a dumbass for running. And I might have chewed him out too. But I'm just saying, it's very easy to get locked up when you chasing somebody. You get amped up. That's why it's good to kind of separate yourself and let other officers handle it and compose yourself, because it is personal. You've risked your life. You could have killed somebody. You see that. But you always have the option, say, I ain't chasing him. Just ain't worth it. I mean, I think they're chasing this guy because the vehicle matched the description that was possibly used in a burglary, which means probably he gave some guy a ride who burglarized a building, or he went to someone's house and got in an argument with him, so he kicked in the door and took his Xbox back. And the victim claimed it was his Xbox, so now it's a burglary. So now we put out a vehicle for him saying it's a burglary, when it really was just a fight or an argument. And now you're chasing a guy with a kid in the car. When he crashes and kills the kid, you're going to blame him, even though you as a cop had the authority and the right to say, I ain't chasing him. So there's always two sides here. I don't like when cops and government take this moral high ground and think they're not the cause of anything. It's always someone else.
Jesus, man!
I think he still has this car at gunpoint with the kid in it. So the kid still got his hands out. So he's still got a gun. Probably there's somebody in the back seat. I don't know. They said there was 2 kids. But, I mean, these 2 cops over here were handcuffing him. Didn't appear like there was an emergency that you needed the gun out. Why don't you get the kid out? I mean, again, I don't know. I'm just getting everybody like, you weren't there. You don't. I know I don't. I'm trying to give you other things to think about that cops should be thinking about that I've seen 100 times when other cops do it. I thought I saw his gun flash here. Maybe I didn't. All right. We'll end that there.